Hello, how you doing out there? AWS Lambda plus Amazon Comprehend. As the name implies, this service provides you sentiment analysis. Comprehend is a machine learning managed service that builders can access via a simple API call. System builders do not need ML model building skills to use this service. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to quickly provide an overview of what we're going to cover in this video. First, I will show you a quick diagram of our system. After that, I will show you the Lambda function setup and the Python code that integrates with Amazon Comprehend. Next, I will show you some results of running Lambda functions using Amazon Comprehend. After this, I'll step through some of the features available to you in Comprehend. And lastly, I'll summarize the key points you should take away from this video. Okay, let's get into it. In this video, I'll be showing you a Lambda function accessing sentiment analysis capabilities in Amazon Comprehend. This function will make an API call to Comprehend requesting analysis of some text. Comprehend will provide a simple response of positive or negative, and the Lambda function will print this out to the execution console. Now I navigate over to the Lambda service in the AWS console. I click Manage Functions. Let's create a new Lambda function, so I click Create Function. I give it a meaningful function name. I select Python 3.8 as the language runtime. I go with all the other defaults, and I click Create Function. Before I edit any Python code, I want to edit some configuration for this Lambda function, so I click the Configuration link. I click the Permissions link, and then I click the Roles link associated with this Lambda function. I'm now in the AWS IAM role homepage for the role associated with the Lambda function. I add the policy Comprehend full access to this role. Now, I have a video I created earlier called AWS Lambda plus IAM roles, where I step through all the details in adding policies to roles. I encourage you to watch this video if you want to see the detailed steps. But in the interest of time, I'm going to continue in this video. The AWS Lambda service auto-generates a default function for me, so I click the Test button to quickly run it. The first time you run a Lambda function, you'll get a pop-up wanting you to find a test event. I enter a test name and click Save. Then I click the Test button again to test the Lambda function. Now I go back to the code link and expand out the code editor in the AWS console. I added my Python code for this example. The entry point for the Lambda function is Lambda handler. Inside the Lambda handler, I call detect sentiment, which makes the API call to the Amazon Comprehend service. The text to analyze is passed over to Amazon Comprehend, and it returns values of positive or negative depending on the sentiment in the input text. After I change my Python code, I click the Deploy button to upload the Lambda to the cloud. In my first test, I call it with the text, "What's wrong with you, dummy?" Amazon Comprehend analyzes text and returns value of negative. That makes sense. That's not a very nice thing to say. I now change the input text to, "Hey, you're doing a really awesome job. Keep it up." Again, I click the Deploy button to upload the latest Lambda to the cloud. I click the Test button, and Amazon Comprehend analyzes the text and returns a value of positive. This also makes sense. That is something nice to hear. So you can see here that Amazon Comprehend is able to take input text, determine the sentiment, and return a response in terms of what it thinks, whether it be positive, negative, neutral, etc. So I just showed you a very simple example of how you can use Amazon Comprehend, but there are a lot of other capabilities within this service that might be of interest to you. Entity recognition allows you to pass in input text, and the service can identify people, places, locations. The basic sentiment analysis is what I just showed you in this particular example, but there's also targeted sentiment analysis where the service can provide sentiment for any of the people, places, or locations that were in the input text. PII identification and redaction This allows you to identify PII and redact it in any of the input text. Again, very important thing for security purposes. Toxicity detection allows you to determine if there's any toxic content in the input text. Prompt safety classification. This is bound to become more popular with large language models becoming more mainstream. Key phrase extraction. This enables you to extract key phrases in a large input text, and it gives you a confidence score along with that. Event detection. Given input text, it can find real-world events that it sees in that content and return that back to you. Language detection. If you pass it input text, Comprehend will give you what it believes is the dominant language in that input text with confidence scores. Syntax analysis. This allows you to find word boundaries, nouns, adjectives, etc. Pretty powerful. Topic modeling. You pass it input text and Comprehend will return back what it believes are the topics being covered in that content. And then finally, multilingual support. Comprehend can perform text analysis on German, English, a whole bunch of different languages. It does leverage Amazon Translate, another ML managed service, to do this, but again, it is able to support many languages in doing so. So in summary, Amazon Comprehend is an ML service that you can access via API. Your team doesn't need to have machine learning model building skills to use this particular service. It's fully managed, so there's no infrastructure for you to have to support. It gives you sentiment analysis, but there's a variety of other types of use cases that build on that Amazon Comprehend can help you solve in your real-world applications. Thanks for watching. All videos referenced will be in the YouTube description. I invite you to watch other videos on my channel. If you like the way I'm packaging this content, please consider subscribing. One last thing. We all love technology, all love AWS Cloud. We love machine learning, AI. Don't forget to live in the real world. Get outside, go swimming, go hiking, move your body. And if you do, let me know in the comments. And with that, have a great day. Thank you.